order, please? If you would, let's do the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. If you would, Ms. Minette or Alan, would you do the prayer, please?
I will. Dear Lord God Almighty, we, the governing body of our city of Hearty, our city council, our mayor, our recorder, and all others who attend, frequent, and work here, thank you for a quiet, peaceful place to live, raise our children, and do business. We thank you that you care for us. As the city body authority, we invite you into our affairs of our city. We ask you to grace our activities with the presence of your Spirit to guide us and help us with understanding and direction. Strengthen us, O Lord, to be faithful servants, first to be faithful to you and also faithful to our people. In the name of Jesus, our Lord, we pray. Amen.
Thank you.
Are we supposed to have these on all time?
Not unless you need to.
Unless you need to talk. You ready for the roll call?
Yes, ma'am.
Allen?
Here.
Berry?
Here.
Garland?
Here.
Horrell?
Here.
Taylor? Here. Wise?
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you.
Mayor?
Your minutes approval.
Okay, the minutes are in your packet at pages 2 through 4. Two sets here. You've had a chance to look them over.
I'll make a motion to pass the minutes as read, or as they are.
I'll second it. Have a motion by Allen and a second by Taylor to approve the minutes. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. The agenda review and approval.
Okay, under the agenda, we do have at least a couple of changes to that I'm aware of, and you can let me know if I missed something. Under the unfinished business, we want to do an update on Dr. Thompson Park. We'll add that under the gym HVAC grant status. And under new business, the law fee payment, we don't have the information on that yet. We're going to take that off, but we want to add resolution at the end under resolution 2022-G. We have 2022-H to discuss.
Okay.
I believe that's all. Do I need a motion? Do I need to approve that agenda review? Okay.
Okay. I guess we'll start with the Hearty A&P report. Mr. Kruger. Yes, we do.
One for you.
You just made a notation, you're going to keep a copy. Okay, can you hear me? Are we on? Okay, there we go. Hearty Advertising and Promotions Commission, regular meeting minutes for February 28, 2022. The meeting was called to order by Acting Chairman Moore. A moment of silence was made to honor Frida Mae Gamlin. Moore welcomed new Commissioner Sue Taylor. Minutes from the January 24th meeting were approved. On the financial report, the current checking account balance is $71,287.01 and reserve account $1,036.31. A motion was made for Moore to be chairman and Hall to be co-chairman. The motion passed. A motion was made and passed to have Garland as financial secretary. Discussion was made as to what her responsibilities would be, what the city is doing for the commission, and what information she would need to bring to the commission. It was noted that there are duties in the file that will be reviewed. The yearly budget was approved for January 2022 to December 2022. Commissioner Smith presented Keep Us Posted postcard contest with an entry deadline of May 27th. She presented copies of the Civic Center rental brochure. Approval was made to put out and to order 1,000 copies for $212. She also shared rental information for the Senior Center, Old Hearty Gym, and Camper Park. More work to be done on this. She also shared work that has been done on the Hearty sign east of town, magazine advertising, and items that are still in the works. Updating the Hearty business listings, acquiring photos for local artists, map of Hearty, and creating a file of pictures to include Hearty Bridge, parks, buildings, Hearty businesses, Spring River, Hearty events, parades, local bands, and artisans. And work has been done on the website. Commission approved to contribute up to $500 for the Easter egg hunt at Lover Park for this year. Commissioner Garland has been working with the Hearty businesses, gathering information for the Hearty Business Directory. Commissioner Garland agreed to coordinate music in Thompson Park. It was approved to increase payment of $100 for one person performing, $200 for 2 people, and $300 for more than 2 people. Also looking for auditions to create some excitement. The commission approved for placing ads as needed to support this. A special meeting will be held next Monday, February 7th at 6 p.m. at the Hearty Civic Center to revisit a motion that was made and passed to have the commission handle their own finances. Regal Honey, a band out of Ash Flat, is wanting an opportunity to be involved in Hearty. This was turned over to Commissioner Garland. Our next regular meeting is scheduled for March 28th, 2022. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Mr.
Mark.
Berger. Well, looks like the city financials will be you.
Okay, that's me. Pages 5 through 12 in your packet are the current financial statements. Still getting my feet wet on studying these and the budget, so I would entertain any questions that you may have at this time. And by my first full quarter here, I hope to have more to tell you. So. Okay. Ready to move on to committee reports?
You want to have any questions about the financials? You'll have copies of it all. Everybody's satisfied? So our committee report, we'll start with the fire department. I see Mr.
Fire department, we're doing great. We had some fires earlier this month. I think Highland, Lenco, and Earth are coming and assisting us with those. We managed to save, and Chief Rhodes was there.
Mayor.
We managed to save the house at Rockies, but we unfortunately didn't get to save the shop.
You did save the house,
Yes.
correct? And that was a joint effort between all the fire departments in the community in the whole area, wasn't it?
Yes.
And I thought y'all did a good job on that. And I'm sure they're proud to at least have that. I seen a bill come through about a repair on a fire truck or a fan. Can you explain that? Or?
We have a truck that is actually in the shop right now. It's having transmission problems. Not sure if it's a sensor right now or it's the actual transmission. We're waiting to hear back from the shop.
Is that Nash Flat or Batesville?
Batesville.
Batesville. Well, thank you, Mr. Moore. All right, we'll move on to the police department. Now, is this what we're gonna, I'll let you handle that.
He knows.
It's quicker when you do it. Okay, so we got to, the previous 2 council meetings, we approached you about getting some funds arranged in our budget to purchase the reporting software, and I believe that's what we're coming.
No, you're doing
Okay, never mind.
the donations.
Another subject. Donations. So a couple of years ago, maybe a year and a half ago, I believe it was, we had went to, not me, but some of the other officers was attempting to receive donations in efforts to try to get a canine Hearty. So donations were received from I think FNBC Bank, as well as some other departments and companies.
I think
Is it not on?
I think your radio is.
Oh, is that what it is?
The radio's not on.
Your phone.
My camera. There.
Something.
I couldn't figure.
I don't know what it is.
There was.
Better work.
Hey,
It was.
whatever.
No, it's you.
Oh, it's you. You're electric.
I don't know what it is now.
Just talk
How
loud.
about we just talk? There you go. So basically, what we're trying to do is that effort was it's a good idea for a larger department that has the means to be able to have a second unit on the street at the same time who can go out. Because once you have a K-9 team, they have to be available for your other surrounding areas. It's just, it is what it is. I mean, it just is, it would be what I would love to see happen is our sheriff's department eventually have one. Because they are good to get drugs off the street, and they're good for so many different avenues, but it's just not feasible, and has after more research has been done, it's not feasible financially, physically, and all around for the city of Hearty to be able to do that. So the officers, which they would love to still see it happen, but I understand that, and so we've asked for that efforts of donations and the donations that were received to be considered to be used for another source that is actually, or another need within the police department, and that need is firearms, handguns, and all the equipment that goes with it. There's for a department to be able to provide firearms, it's kind of expensive, and the amount is very similar to that amount that was received for donations. FNBC, as well as a company in, I'm trying to remember in a Highland on the right, they do
A to Z. A to Z.
Home health. My goodness, I've had a mind blank. We've got it and we've got record of it, but my understanding is they're okay with the donations that they gave to be used for whatever efforts, as long as it's benefiting the city of Hearty. I know Mark's here who represents FNBC, and we can follow up and verify that, but we'd like for those funds to be used to purchase firearms rather than go towards the K-9 unit. I don't think this is anything that has to be voted on. I don't believe this is anything unless Joseph
But
differently.
the only question I have is on those donations, did they specifically donate it for a specific project or
Yeah.
funding? And you have
No, I'm sorry, yes, for this K-9
to-
system.
Then you have to go back to those
Get their
and
permission.
get their permission to change it, or if you had them sign something saying, we know you're donating it, but we can be used
Yeah.
it for, because if
Yeah.
it was a specific donation for that, you've got to go back and.
I can't give you specifics, but I know, my understanding, and if Mark wanted to follow up on that, make sure that the FNBC Bank was not wanting their funds back as long as it went towards the city of Hearty, city police department.
Yeah, and you just have to get them to sign something saying, if you remind me, send me an email, and I'll type something up.
Yeah, that's fine.
And then
If
I
we
can
can
send
get
it
with the
back to
bank and make sure that's okay along with the other one. The only issue is there was some smaller donations came from individuals. That was just here, $20 here and there, and I don't,
You don't think they specifically said anything?
he didn't know of any kind of specifics on that.
But if you do know for sure one, then yes, you need to
Yeah, that's exactly.
correct that, or not correct it, but ask them if we
Yeah.
can change it.
If we can go ahead and just work on getting something for the larger amounts.
The person you've talked to about this is
Scott
one that's
Quintana.
actually doing the collecting,
Oh, no, I'm sorry, yeah.
the officer, yes. That's why.
Scott Quintana was one of the other larger donors. He received his funds back, but is willing to offer any need back to that if we need to make a commitment. So, he's with the tattoo shop here on Main Street. And, but yeah, we can follow up. I'll get with you. But I think
Just send me an email, we can call it.
she wanted to bring it in front of the county, even though it didn't need to be voted on. I think it needed to be brought out in public knowledge of what we're trying to do. And the amount total for our that was originally received was $8,000. $2,000 was given back to Mr. Quintana, so that left us with $6,000. And the total amount of all of our equipment and firearms purchased to fully equip us was $6,800 and some.
How would you budget that? Do you have it?
I'm not sure. I've got to check
might have
with
to-
Greg. We just discussed that we should make it transparent and make sure that everyone knew, but I do not know that yet.
Okay.
That was the only other sort of issue that we really needed to bring up, correct?
Well, I'd like for you to explain to the council and the people the importance of and why you would want to do this. For instance, being a veteran law enforcement officer, I know the answer, but they may not understand that.
You're talking about why we need the issue firearms?
What's the advantage to having your firearms and having them all the same and the ammunition?
Well, number one, I mean, a lot of people may not be familiar with it, but if you go back to when I was little or younger, before I even got into law enforcement, one of the largest bank robberies I ever had was in California. And the benefits of one officer being able to use the other officer when one's wounded, and when they ran out of, they were going and getting ammo from another gun store. But the benefits of having department issued firearms, everybody on the same page, is they all know how to shoot the same firearm. They're not getting into a situation where they don't know what to do, because we don't expect and anticipate it to happen here, but it could happen here. And training all comes down to the same. We're all trained on the same firearm, as well as same ammo. There's just so many benefits when officers are in a situation to where you fall back on your training. So many different situations throughout history, the officer doesn't remember what he did exactly because he fell back on his training. It just comes natural in their head. So that's why one of the main benefits to a department issued firearm, because you know what that officer is carrying, they're trained on it, and you have full round, everybody's got the same setup, and that comes into play on a lot of our equipment. So
It's all split second decisions, that's the idea.
and it's all falls
For
back on
safety.
training. It doesn't fall back on what you think you're going to do then. It goes back on what you were trained to do, and it's split second decisions that come without you even thinking about it secondhand. So that's why it's very important. It could save their life. So that's why we want to do that way. Is there anything else you wanted to add to it?
I just want to make sure they understood why it would, and it's a common practice for most departments now to issue firearms to their officers, and this is one of the reasons. It's a safety factor for the public as well as the officer, because they're the ones out there pinned down at night, and it's happened in Hearty, Arkansas, and it'll happen again, I'm sadly to report.
We're kind of, I mean, a lot of your agencies, of course, financially, we've tried to not do that, and the officers have had to purchase even their own gear sometimes. But us being able to do it, getting everybody on the same page is now, I mean, this is a good time, if we can do it, to go ahead and try to get that done. So, any questions?
Well, thank you, Chief.
Thank you. It's all yours, Junior.
I believe we're done.
Yeah, we've had a good, even through the ice storm, we had 2 slide-offs and no major accidents. I believe we were very fortunate.
I slid off, you didn't come help me.
I didn't even Thank you.
Thank you. And our Public Works Department, Mr. Wise is going to give the report, is that correct?
Yes, I've talked to him. He's coming back.
Get his equipment.
Oh, yes, I did talk to the men today, and they did bring up some things they want to look into. One of them was kind of after this ice storm and all, they kind of want to look at purchasing a sprayer, kind of a ready to pre-treat the roads, or maybe to help on some of the situations. We may not have what we just had the last couple of nights.
Senior Center.
They did talk about getting some stockpile
Lean over.
chaff, dirt, different things to put different chaff, different places that they need, that they said it's getting low. They got some permits that are coming up. All this stuff I'm saying is stuff that we just need to think about. We're not gonna make no decisions now, vote or make any emotions or anything like that. It's just some stuff that they wanted to bring up. Is there anything else you can think of? I know there's a couple of things you said.
And then tracks for the track over.
Yeah, the track for the track over. He said that pretty much, he's never put none on, guys that work with him never put none on. So it's something we may have to look into, maybe get some outside help to come in and help do that. And I guess that's about it for now.
Yeah. Some help.
They need some help, but I think we already all know that.
I agree. Well, that brings up, that's a good point, and the mowing in particular. This is the first part of March, and I would like to ask the council to accept bids for the mowing contract again. I know the last one didn't work out. It started out real good, but it didn't work out. He just couldn't handle it. Maybe it was because we took the lowest bid, and maybe the next guy had that problem. I don't know. But with the council's permission and to take the pressure off of them, because they're not, two guys could not do it anyway. And we don't want all of our guys out there doing that. I would like to take bids in or advertise to take bid for a contractor to do all the mowing
That's right.
in the city. And if that's the case, then we'll start bidding process tomorrow and end it around the middle of the month. Middle to the last third week in the month.
Was there anything that you needed more from him that he didn't provide that you might want to put in the bid requirements?
Actually not. He actually said his machinery broke down.
Okay,
And
so he did mow up as
Yeah.
often as you wanted and everything?
he tried.
That's what I mean, you might want to put that they have to mow. some-
Yeah.
Like a job description of everything that they have to do?
The job description was mowing 3 times a month.
Oh, it did have a.
Yes,
I
it
couldn't
did.
remember. Okay.
Yes, we did. And that's what I would like to keep it that way. And I understand they may not have to do it 3 times, they may have to do it 4.
Yeah. Well, I was just curious, you know, you said that his equipment broke down. I mean, did we not have equipment possibly that he could have used? Or
It's
did
not a
we
good
not do that?
practice to,
We don't need to, there's correct.
we don't need to get
It
into
should be a
that.
liability, and then if he breaks that, then we're out, the money we paid him and, equipment.
And that's the whole idea, is to get it done, keep it nice, and not pay our boys to mow grass when they got more important things to be doing. And believe me, they got plenty. I'm sure he'll verify that if you ask me.
Even
I'm
though
waiting
they've done
on-
the best job, haven't they?
Yes, I'm waiting on them to do a couple of jobs right here in town, culverts and bridges, and been waiting a long time, but I understand, they're busy.
Yeah.
And they're gonna get to them as they can, but that's why I think it's important, and I know the mowing contract didn't work real good last year, but there was breakdowns. It wasn't, the guy wasn't trying to rip us off, he just couldn't handle it, and he come to me and told me that, so. I'd like to try it again,
And he was a little bitter by a lot.
and he was,
That's right. We saved money even
yeah,
coming out like that.
yeah, it was almost half.
Yeah.
That's right. I got a question. The only thing I would like to put in there is if we could, is there some way they would mow the 3 major weekends? Maybe make sure they mow the week before that. Like
Yes.
Memorial Day, the 4th, the
Put
Labor Day. make
specific
sure-
dates in, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you help me write that?
Yes, sir, I did, but I couldn't remember what we did on
Yeah.
numbers, so.
I know what he's talking about, it was just before the major holiday.
That's right, because that's when everybody's pretty much here to see everything.
But you also did it later because
Yeah.
you were behind, it wasn't this early because I wasn't even hired on.
That's right.
We actually done the mowing a time or 2 early.
Is that something we can put in our,
Yes, sir, I think it's, I mean, the area that you're talking about and what you do for tourism, I think that's important.
yes, we'll see if we can't do that, Jim.
Okay.
Well, in
Good
that
idea.
case, you know, you may have to let something else go to make sure that, you know, we can do that. I mean,
They
It's
may.
not jammed up.
Yeah, they may.
But they'll be on
They
the
may have
contract,
to.
they'll be the ones having to shuffle that around.
Okay.
True. Isn't that correct? Thank y'all, and we'll get that started tomorrow in advertising, and get the attorney to look at our contract we used last year and just change it up to specify that.
Okay. I just wondered, I just thought it'd be a good idea.
Good idea. Does anybody else have
Yeah,
any
that is.
on the mowing? Ooh. All right, so the next thing that we're gonna discuss is the Hearty Gym. The Hearty Gym renovation, and I call it that, it's HVAC, that's heat and air. The grant process has been completed, and Ms. Wilson has explained that that's all taken care of. What we're doing now is finishing up. The grant did not include plumbing and electric. We're doing that now, and the plumbing may be, and I'm saying may because he thinks he'll finish it tomorrow. And if he does, then the company that installed the units are gonna come back and start them, light them up and check it all out, and the heat will be working as of that minute, whether it be tomorrow or next week. When they do that, the heat process will be working, but the air, we gotta get an electrician to run heavier wire to these new air conditioner units. And that just can't be helped, because you don't wanna use that existing wiring that was not heavy enough to run what they put in. We're talking about 20 ton of heat and air down there. We've always tried it with 5, 15, 20, nothing's ever worked. They feel like this is gonna work, and If you wanna go in there and look at it, it's the newest thing available. It looks to me like it's gonna do the job. But that part of it's complete, but what you're gonna see is a little bit of the electric and the plumbing bills coming in that we have to pay that. That wasn't included in the grant process. The total project's probably gonna be in the neighborhood of between 40,000 and 50,000. And I'm leaving a pretty good leeway there because, when we started this 2 years ago, the tools to plumb it was like $600-700. Now it's like 14 to 17. So if you have any questions about it, and if you want to go look at that gym, anytime the girl's got the key here, go there and check it out. It looks good. The only thing I want to add to it is a security system, and we're working on that this week. Cameras on the units. We do plan to do that. It's a little bit of an expense for a $50,000 project, is the way I look at it. A couple $100 for insurance is not gonna hurt. And that will be done this week.
What will the cameras do?
They will just keep an eye on them if somebody messes with the units outside. And there's already camera systems all over that vicinity, so it's not really hard to do. And that way it'll safeguard, but I want them pointed at these units in case, hopefully it never happens. But that's a lot of money. Now, in the Dr. Thompson Park, the renovations that it needs, I agree totally. I think anybody that's went in there would say, yes, y'all need to do something with them. So I have asked Mr. Garland, who lives right there close and frequents that every day,
See it every day.
Good project for
to
you.
help me out with that, and he has. And so far, and this is not a complete, if you remember, the first estimate was like $16,000. And we wasn't ready to spend that to renovate. If we was gonna remodel or do something, that might be something we will look at, but just for renovation, we didn't want to spend that much, so we kind of downscaled it. And right now, we're looking at 2129 is an estimate on materials to purchase to get this project kicked off.
Minus the stalls
Yeah,
and the paint and labor,
yeah,
you know, like
that's
electrician
that's
or
just
plumber
material.
to come in, yeah.
2100. And it could go to 31 or maybe 25. We don't know what them stalls are gonna
No
cost.
idea.
But if they're real costly, what we're gonna try to do is have them made locally. Just have someone make us some. And a complete paint job is desperately needed inside.
Yes.
And yesterday I was in there and I agree. It's not, we don't want to represent our community that way. It does look bad. And it is working. There was heat in there, and there was water in there, and there's running water, and the commodes work. The boys
Yeah,
keep
all
them
the
going.
toilets work.
But it's really gotten to run down. But I would like to just continue that project. I just wanted to make sure y'all knew that didn't get just put on the back burner, but we are working on it. And thank you, Mr. Garland, for doing that.
Yes.
An American flag, I'm gonna have to mention that on the bridge in Lowbird Park has got damaged through the bad weather. And we have ordered it, and it was back ordered, and she ordered again. And she's now in the process, when I say this, I'm talking about the girls in the office up here. They're trying to find another supplier to buy that particular flag. I believe it's 12 by 18.
That's right.
It's a pretty big flag, and the companies that we're dealing with cannot get it until May, if I'm not mistaken. So we're reaching out, trying to find somewhere else. So if someone mentions to you that flag is damaged, they're correct. It has got a rip in it. But it's probably due to ice hanging in and wind blowing, what have you. And we put it up there new last year. But we are gonna replace it. It is getting fixed.
I'm glad to hear that because I frequent that park all the time. I do about 3 miles down there every day.
Yeah.
And to being a veteran, I always salute it. And I'm the one who noticed how it was tattered. And I thought, you know, military, we retire those kind of flags, and it should be done. So I appreciate that being on the agenda.
We will retire.
Yeah.
We get a replacement. We also went ahead and replaced all the small ones that we seen had damage in the city, and we've got a few spares. And Chief, did he leave, Rose? I didn't know if he got his half-mast or not. It was asked by,
He did out here. I don't know if he did the big
Okay.
one or not. He had
to
a
be
problem
going
with
at
that.
half-mast now. Okay, and the lofty payment was deferring, is that correct?
Yes.
Resolution, I'm gonna turn that over to Ms. Wilson.
Okay, resolution, it should be in your packet at page 13. It's resolution 2022-F. This has to do with the grant that was just presented to us by Mr. Grant from White River. Prior to the city council meeting, we had a public hearing on this. So I'm going to read this to you, and then we'll have discussion. Resolution authorizing the mayor of the city of Hearty, Arkansas to submit an application to the Arkansas Economic Development Commission for a water project. Whereas the city of Hearty is applying to the state of Arkansas for a community development block grant through the Arkansas Economic Development Commission, AEDC. The grant will be used for needed updates to the city's water system. And whereas it is necessary that certain conditions be met as part of the application requirements, and whereas the city of Hearty has conducted the required public hearing and has an active citizens participation plan, community development plan, and as part of the application process has received comments on community development, housing needs, and proposed activities. And whereas as a result of the community development planning activities, the city of Hearty has identified and prioritized the community development and housing needs. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Hearty, Arkansas, that the mayor is hereby authorized on behalf of the City of Hearty to submit an application to the state of Arkansas for grant funds under the community development provision of the Arkansas Community and Economic Development Program, and to expend funds to accomplish such community development activities if the grant is awarded.
And I'm sorry, I didn't want to interrupt you.
No, go
Probably
ahead.
should have had a motion and a vote before you read it.
Before reading it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I
Sure.
didn't
Do I
want
need to read
to
it again after a motion?
I'll make,
Okay.
I don't mind
No,
reading it.
thank
I
you.
don't mind reading it.
Okay, that'd be great. Okay.
Sorry.
No, you're right. Okay.
Started on that.
So do I hear a motion to
I'll make a
read?
motion
Okay.
to read it.
All right. Ms. Allen makes a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second. Oh, go ahead.
Okay,
Go ahead.
Mr. Barry seconds it. I heard him first.
That's fine.
Okay. All right. I apologize. Okay. Oh, okay. All in favor of a,
Aye.
okay. And any opposed?
Resolution
Okay.
number 20,
Okay.
22F, a resolution authorizing the mayor of the city of Hearty, Arkansas to submit an application to the Arkansas Economic Development Commission for a water project. Whereas the city of Hearty is applying to the state of Arkansas for community development block grant through the Arkansas Economic Development Commission, AEDC. The grant will be used for needed updates to the city's water system, and whereas it is necessary that certain conditions be met as part of the application requirements, and whereas the city of Hearty has conducted the required public hearing, has an active citizens participation plan, community development plan, and as part of the application process, has received comments on community development and housing needs and proposed activities. And whereas as a result of the community development planning activities, the city of Hearty has identified and prioritized the community development and housing needs. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Hearty, Arkansas, that the mayor is hereby authorized on behalf of the City of Hearty to submit an application to the state of Arkansas for grant funds under the community development provision of the Arkansas Community and Economic Development Program, and to expend funds to accomplish such community development activities if the grant is awarded. Pass and approve this day of February, or March 2022.
Now, I'll make a motion to accept it as read. What is it, 2022 F? Resolution? Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Second? Mr. Barry seconded. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes. Okay. Now, we have the same thing with the resolution 2022G is authorizing White River Planning and Development Commission to assist us with the grant, and their fee will be paid out of the grant. So we need a motion to read it? Is that what you're saying? Okay. So a motion to read the resolution. Motion by Mr. Barry, second. Do I hear a second by Taylor? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
I can read that off.
I'll let you go right ahead. He did so good. I'll just,
You did fine. Resolution number 2022G, a resolution authorizing the mayor of the city of Hearty, Arkansas to enter into an administrative agreement with the White River Planning and Development District Incorporated. Whereas the city of Hearty is applying to the Arkansas Economic Development Commission, AEDC, for an Arkansas Community Economic Development Program grant. The grant will be used for needed updates to the city's water system, and whereas the city of Hearty requires assistance to identify and implement the regulations pertaining to the said grant, and whereas it will be necessary for the mayor to act in connection with the administrative agreement. Now therefore it be resolved by the City Council of the City of Hardy, Arkansas, that the mayor is hereby authorized on behalf of the City of Hardy to execute an agreement with the White River Planning Development District Incorporated to provide administrative services to the city. Such costs and contract formats to be pre-approved by AEDC, and all such costs be paid by AEDC from the grant sources passed and approved this day of March 2022.
Do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion to accept resolution 2022G as read.
Do you hear a second? Mr. Berry? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Okay, and then we have resolution 2022-H, and I'm going to have to pass this around. Apologize, did not get it in the packet. I guess that's enough.
Coming that way.
No, there's two of those.
Is there enough? Did I not get enough?
That's all right.
I thought there was.
There is.
Oh,
Oh, good.
I thought I went.
My copier, I'd blame it on my copier. Okay, this is, you've seen this before, except not in the form of a resolution. This is the police software that Chief Rose asked for to, that will talk to the county's software. We've approved this. You approved this in two forms. First in the budget, and then at the last meeting, we did a motion. Our attorney looked over the minutes and saw this in there and recommended that we do a resolution for this. So this is what we are, it's the same, what we've already talked about. It's $34,000. We didn't have the exact numbers before, actually. This is the total, is $34,732. And since it is over, you did an agreement to waive the bidding process on it, is what you did. And so this is just approving that, and I'll entertain a motion to read it.
Things put together, because it wasn't just.
This is waiving it. This is not approving the purchase. This is waiving.
I mean, it's not one thing, it was the radios and the software that he had for that total amount.
This is just the software.
Oh, never mind.
Because it's just going from one entity. What's the name of the company again?
Southern Software. This is all
Okay,
Southern
When
Software.
he talked to us, he said both things were together when he gave us the total amount.
Yeah, this does not include that hardware. This is only the software. So I would entertain a motion to allow us to read Resolution 2022-H.
I'll make a motion.
Okay, Wise and Garland. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
Resolution number 2022H, a resolution waiving the requirement for competitive bidding and to allow the city to purchase reporting management software for the police department. Whereas the city of Hardy needs to purchase reporting management software for the city of Hardy Police Department. Whereas the city has an opportunity to purchase the reporting management software, RMS, including mobile data information system, MDIS, and evidence hardware for $34,732 from Southern Software Incorporated. And whereas ordinance number 2019-8 requires competitive bidding for any purchase exceeding $20,000. And whereas the city council has determined that this is an exceptional situation where competitive bidding is not feasible or practical to obtain the quality and value of the reporting management software, RMS, including mobile data information, MDIS, and evidence hardware. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Hardy, Arkansas, Section 1, that the City of Hardy finds that competitive bidding should be waived since this is an exceptional situation and it is not feasible or practical to accept competitive bidding for the purchase of the reporting management software, RMS, including mobile data information system, MDIS, and evidence hardware for the police department. Section 2, that the City Council authorizes the mayor to enter into an agreement to purchase the reporting management software, RMS, including mobile data information system, MDIS, and evidence hardware for the police department from Southern Software Incorporated for a total purchase price of $34,732, passed and approved this day of March 2022.
Okay, do you hear a motion to approve?
I'll make a
the
motion for resolution 2022H as read.
Okay, here's a second.
Second.
Second by Barry. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Well, if this gig don't work out for you, you can always do book on tape.
You read those well. You really did. You read a few?
I've read a couple of them. Now, the last ones I read was right before the Razorbacks were playing Auburn, and the mayor was like, hurry up, hurry up. Trying to read those really, really fast to get back for the game, so.
Yeah, I can't blame you.
No, and I was glad.
Nobody.
That's the priorities, don't you?
I agree.
Well, before we close tonight, I just want to make sure everybody understands what the project in Woodland Hills, Sherwood Lake Dam is. That's all it is. That's an expense, that's 100% grant. It's not going to cost the city anything if it's all approved. It's not going to cost the POA anything. It's not going to be done by the city. It's going to be done by the engineering company and firm that they employ. But it's not, it's just got rumored out. It's terrible things have been said and there's nothing to it. That's all this is about. And the figures, the last I heard, he said tonight was 250-some thousand. And what you're talking about doing is capping both ends of that off and rerouting it. And it's important to do because you got to keep the pressure plane the same as what it is now to supply water on that side of the lake all the way up to the end. So, if you have any questions or hear any of them rumors, please shush them up because there's nothing to that. We're not interested in taking it over. We just want to be safe for the people. And there's no one's on for sign up, so this meeting will be adjourned. Thank you very much for coming.